These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
I'm Faye Fredericks with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. The trial of Doomsday Mom Lori Daybell officially underway in Phoenix, with opening statements beginning this morning. Daybell is accused of conspiring with her brother to kill her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, in 2019. Prosecutors beginning by reading a message from Daybell that they say served as a call to action for Daybell's brother. Prosecutors argued Daybell and her brother used religion to justify Vallow's death. The prosecutor says the evidence and testimony will show it was a planned murder. Daybell then beginning her opening statement saying Vallow and Tylee, the daughter she was convicted of being involved in the killing of, often fought. Daybell cried while describing what she says happened the day Vallow died. She says his death was a result of self-defense.
Spouses having insurance policies is not a crime. Collecting Social Security is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. A family tragedy is not a crime.
During opening statements, Daybell often repeated the line, "The evidence will show." Prosecutors objected multiple times. When she finished, the first witness, a Chandler police sergeant, was called to the stand. ABC 15's Ashley Holden will have more details from court tonight at 5 and 6. ABC 15 monitoring several developing stories around the valley. One person has died, 3 others, including a child, taken to the hospital after a 3-car crash on 107th Avenue near Beardsley. It's unclear right now how that crash happened. El Mirage police are investigating a multi-car crash near Grand and Acoma this morning. Investigators say at least 2 people are injured. They don't believe impairment was a factor, but are still investigating what led to that crash. Man is being treated at the hospital after a shooting near 99th Avenue in Camelback. Officers responding to the scene just after midnight. Circumstances around the shooting are still unclear. And a man has died after a stabbing last night. This near 59th Avenue in Indian School. Police believe the victim, who has not yet been publicly identified, was stabbed during a fight. 35-year-old Michael Espinoza was arrested. Investigators believe he threatened people with the knife used before running from the scene. In consumer headlines, Goldman Sachs says the odds of a recession are much more likely now following President Trump's new tariffs. In a report to clients, the investment firm raising its 12-month recession probability from 35% to 45%. It also slashed its yearly GDP forecast to 0.5%. The investment bank says foreign consumer boycotts and continued uncertainty from the trade war impacting spending more than they'd previously factored in. CEO of J.P. Morgan also sounding the alarm bell as well in his annual letter to shareholders. He writes, tariffs are likely to increase inflation and slow down growth. He also warns tariffs, along with America First policy, could undermine the U.S. position in the world. CEO adding the U.S. and the world face the most perilous economic environment since World War II. British carmaker Jaguar Land Rover is pausing shipments to the U.S. for a month. Spokesperson for the company calls the U.S. an important market, but the carmaker says it's temporarily halting shipments this month to address the new trading terms. Jaguar Land Rover has more than 200 dealerships in the U.S. DNA from an ancient animal has helped it return from extinction, apparently. 3 young dire wolves were born in October and are being raised at an unknown nature preserve. A team at Colossal Biosciences says it took DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull to create these puppies. The animal had previously been extinct for more than 12,000 years.
Tracking your forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sullins. Things are heating up fast here across the valley and all across the state as high pressure builds in. This is going to bring us our first triple digits of the year by the end of the week. In fact, we have a 3-day stretch now in your forecast where 100-degree plus temperatures are going to be possible. This will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So one of those days will likely hit this triple-digit mark for the first time this year and nearly a month sooner than average. On average, our first triple-digit day tends to happen in early May. As we take a look at your planner tomorrow, it's in the 90s in the afternoon, so well above that normal of 84. We'll start the day in the 60s, end up at 93, and the UV index, which is our sunburn factor, is going to be going up. Only about 15 minutes to be outside midday before that sunburn sets in. Over the next 7 days, you can see those triple digits building in by the end of the week, and it's not just the first 100s of the year, but we could break daily heat records Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.